Hey, thanks for joining me. My name is Brian Ward. I put on the annual Dark History and Horror Convention. I've been into what I call dark history for the better part of 30 years. Serial killers, spree killers, tragic events that have happened here in the United States as well as abroad. I don't have enough money to travel abroad, but what I'd like to do is take you along with on some trips that I've taken and tell you a little bit about where I've been, what it pertains to, and hopefully pique your interest and have you research some things on your own and open up that whole world of true crime to you in dark history. So join us on Dark History Road Trip. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Miss Eva Kor. She was a twin sister with her sister Miriam, and they were a pair of Dr. Mengele's twins. Eva and Miriam were born in Romania, January 31, 1934. 1944 rolled around. At the age of 10 years old, they were packed into a cattle car with no food or water for approximately 70 hours on the transport to Auschwitz. Once they arrived at Auschwitz, they were nearly immediately separated from their mother. They used to do what they, for lack of a better term, a roll call. As they came out, they were determined, all right, going straight to the gas chambers. They'll be good enough to get some labor out of, and Mengele wants his twins to experiment on. So she was separated from her parents nearly immediately. Her parents and her two older sisters would go on to be killed in the gas chambers. There were approximately 1,500 sets of twins that were abused by Mengele. Most of them passed away. He liked to run his experiments, and I have some directly from Eva here, a little bit that she told about. It says, Miriam and I were part of a group of children who were alive for one reason only, to be used as human guinea pigs. During our time in Auschwitz, we talked very little. Starved for food and human kindness, it took every ounce of strength just to stay alive. Because we were twins, we were used in a variety of experiments. 3 times a week, we'd be placed naked in a room for 6 to 8 hours to be measured and studied. It was unbelievably demeaning. In another type of experiment, they took blood from one arm and gave us injections in the other. After one such injection, I became very ill and was taken to the hospital. Dr. Mengele came in the next day, looked at my chart, and declared that I had only 2 weeks to live. For those 2 weeks, I was between life and death, but I refused to die. If I had, Mengele would have given Miriam a lethal injection so he could measure and compare her body to mine. They were in the camp for approximately 9 months. Auschwitz was liberated by the Soviets January 27, 1945. They found approximately 200 children still alive, the majority of them being Mengele twins. Eva sadly passed in July 2019 at the age of 85. She actually happened to be in Krakow, Poland on one of her annual trips to Auschwitz for an educational tour. She did it every year. She passed away doing what she loved to do, and that's educate and forgive. Eva is buried at the Highland Lawn Cemetery in Terre Haute, Indiana, where there is also a Holocaust museum that she founded. It's done in her honor. You will see on our video that we are going to place some stones on Eva's headstone. I had seen that done in Schindler's List. I did not know the meaning. I have been fortunate enough to befriend some people that know a lot more Jewish culture than I do. I spoke with one of them and asked him when I told him I was going to head over there, do the stones really mean something? Is that Hollywood? And he said, no, stones is what we do. Most of us, it doesn't have to be anything special. Sometimes we just pick them up when we're there. But if you're not sure if there's going to be any, then grab some from somewhere and head on up there. I was able to find a traditional interpretation. I will not try to do the Hebrew words. I don't want to butcher them and offend anybody, so I won't be trying those today. But he does explain that the Hebrew word for pebble also happens to mean bond. So when they pray, we ask that the deceased be bound up in the bond of life. By placing the stone, we show that we have been there and that the individual's memory continues to live on and through us. Many people take special care in choosing a stone to put on the grave of a loved one. It may be a stone from a place that was significant to the deceased, a stone that was chosen at an event during which the deceased was especially missed, or simply an interesting or attractive rock. Because there is no commandment to fulfill, placing a stone on a grave is an opportunity for you to create your own ritual or do things in a way that feels most meaningful to you. So that is what we did. We all need to recognize what Eva went through. She, in her adult life, took on a mission of forgiveness and education. And I feel like, this is all about recognizing bad stuff that has happened, but also some truly inspiring people. And I feel there's not too many that are more inspiring than Miss Kor. We were fortunate enough to visit her headstone just a couple of years ago.